Hello, SGDQ Submission Board. My name is Utsu,
And I'm Tokiki.
and this is our submission run for Borderlands 2 8% two-player co-op. So, here, this is a run where it's best to do on LAN, however it can be done over Steam servers, VLAN, with something like Evolve. But it's best done on LAN because then both perspectives are most equal. Is that okay? And however, there's a weird problem with some computers where host has to load the map prior to the off-host joining, or else off-host won't be able to load in time to actually do things for the run. So, this is the start of the run. We sit through this good, 2-minute dialogue with Claptrap.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 2 minutes of dialogue. And it's just Claptrap telling us about, himself and stuff. So what you're going to be seeing here in a little bit is, there's going to be some weird things. We're holding these guns right now, but I'm going to do a little thing called weapon duplication, while Tokiki's going to go ahead with Claptrap, because Claptrap has some triggers that he needs to hit.
Yeah, this game is very trigger heavy. You have to hit lots of triggers in order to continue getting through the game. Later on we'll see that we have to hit a lot of objectives. You can't just kind of skip ahead in the game and go to later parts. You have to finish missions and objectives.
What you saw me do... Oh, sorry for cutting you off. What we did there before, what I did at least, and what Tokiki's about to do, is there's these things called badass ranks. And basically they're just things that enhance your players all throughout all of them. It's just locked to your profile. And essentially what those do is just give you buffs and damage, weapon reload. But we can't have those on for the speedrun because that would be considered a new game plus run. So what you would see me do before was a little bit of weapon duplication. I'll get more into that a little bit later. But what we're about to do here is... It's another way of doing weapon duplication, but we're going to do it with something called an echo recorder, which is essentially this little piece of dialogue that most of the main characters have, the 4 main characters have, and it just has a little bit about their backstory. And these things have insanely high dialogue priority. So Claptrap's going to talk here, I'm going to use it, and it's going to cut off his dialogue. And so because it cut off his dialogue, it cuts to this cutscene. However, because we had set up that duel, the way that dueling works with trading in this game is the winner gets everything that was put into there. But because I had consumed the item, it should be gone. But because Tokiki won the duel, he gets it. Now what you just saw there was a little bit of a weird thing with a bug with off-host hitboxes. So there's a checkpoint on the other side of the wall there. And when I jump up onto that spike, it bugs out my hitbox. And it makes the game think that I hit the checkpoint. And that's the only trigger we need to continue throughout the rest of the game. So here we're just sort of going to be escorting Claptrap. You saw that you guys' eye ripped out. And so we need to go find that creature. It's called a bullymong that basically ripped out his eye. Because we need to get back to the main hub world called Sanctuary. What you're going to be seeing me do here is we've got these repeaters here. And I'll be using those for a later bug. But to do the weapon duplication glitch that you saw me doing earlier, it's best for me to have an empty inventory. So here, you see me, I dupe those, and I need to fill up my weapon hotbar, or else the weapons that I duplicate will not become real, and they will just, they won't be real entities in the game. So if I try to pick them up, they will despawn out of my inventory. What you saw there was Toki just quickly did the objective there, while I just quickly, I just focused on weapon duping. I'm going to call it duping for the remainder of this run to save time and sentence space. So yeah, for the most part, you're just seeing Tokiki kill these bullymongs to get us more experience, and you're seeing me weapon duplicate. The way that weapon duplication is done is basically, we have these mice that have a function called free scrolling, which is basically where their mouse wheels can scroll indefinitely until either they stop by friction or we stop them manually. And I have 2 of those mice. One is bound to drop weapon, one is bound to swap weapon. I scroll one to swap weapon rapidly, and I scroll another to drop weapon rapidly. And because of how off-host works with the netcode, the game just panics and it thinks I've dropped the gun, but at the same time it thinks I also have the gun. So it keeps creating more and more guns. What you probably saw earlier there also was that I had way more critical hit damage than Tokigi. That's because whenever I do this weapon duplication bug, it gives me some of the crit damage from some of the snipers duplicated, and for every sniper I duplicate, I get about like 120% critical hit damage. So this here is Knuckle Dragger, and he is the first boss of the game. And usually it's like a good minute-long fight. Yeah, it's about a minute-long fight. However, I just shoot him in the head, and he's dead.
So right here, I'm going to shoot some bully monks that come out of the holes, and Utsu's going to grab the Claptrap's eye, and we're going to have to go find a way to put his eye back on. But right here, we're going to duplicate that recording one more time. And we're going to skip some Claptrap dialogue so that he goes on and tries to open this door up here.
So you saw earlier that I dropped all of my other guns other than the sniper, and Togi kept his SMG. There's a part right after this where I need the SMG because off-host hitboxes are always broken, so I need a weapon with fast recovery and a fast fire rate to be able to hit their off-host hitboxes easily. You may be wondering, like, if all these bugs can be done, why have a Necromancer instead of, like, 2 Axon or something? Well, the bugs can only be done off-host that I'm doing, and Necromancer has the highest damage output in the game. You'll see throughout this run that I'm going to have way more critical hit damage and do way more damage in general than Tokigi, but he's going to do way more base damage than me. He's very important to this run, and it's very good that he's host.
Yeah, there are a lot of enemies in this game that don't have very big or obvious critical hit spots, and it's really easy for me to kill those, but Utsu's going to have a lot of trouble with them.
Especially if we have trouble getting gear later on. So here, we're about to go and get to those Bullymons that have weird hitboxes. Do you want to describe?
Yeah, right there is a small trick. We wait for Claptrap to finish talking, and if we just go ahead right there, Claptrap won't move. He'll just keep explaining what he's explaining right now, just standing up the hill, which will make these Bullymons not spawn in a second wave very quickly. But if we wait for him to finish his dialogue and then we move, he'll move along with us so that we can get the second wave of Bullymons to spawn in, and then we're going to save and quit out of the game to skip a bunch of sequences.
So, yeah, so what you saw there was the weird off-host hitboxes, and that's why he kept the SMG rather than just getting rid of it to save inventory space. So here what we're going to do, there's a character right here that we're going. Claptrap mentioned him briefly before. His name is Sir Hammerlock, and right now he is currently trapped inside of his home, and so we need to kill these bandits, basically, so that he can safely come out of his home and fix Claptrap's eye for us. If we were to have not save quit, then that would have made these bandits spawn way later, and it would just wasted a lot of time. If we save quit, then it just gets to this fight much faster. Whenever we save quit like that, though, it gets rid of any crit bonuses that I have there.
And you'll see right after we finish that fight, we saved and quit out, because there was a ton of dialogue between Claptrap and Hammerlock right there if you just wait for the events of the game to keep going. So we save and quit to skip about a minute and a half of time right there. Yeah,
they have pretty hefty dialogue. Usually, if we can afford it, we'll save quit to skip a lot of dialogue. Dialogue is usually what takes up most of the waiting time in this game. But luckily, there's been ways found to just skip all that dialogue. So you're gonna, after this cutscene here with Sir Hammerlock, this is him. You're gonna see the last echo duplication that we're gonna do for the rest of the run. Basically, we're never gonna do that dual duplication ever again because we only do it for that echo. So the reason why we do it here is because if we don't do it here, then Hammerlock talks for a little bit longer before we can even give him the eye, and this saves like a good 3 seconds.
Oh. So right there, I kill Utsu, I get the echo, save and quit, so we skip even more dialogue between Claptrap and Hammerlock walking across town and turning on the power for us.
Yeah, they're just waiting for us at the power once we get back there, if we just save quit like that. So you're going to see Tokigi here. He's just going to go get the power. But right now, I'm going to be focusing on crit stacking so that I can go ahead and take on a boss that's coming up later. Because there's not going to be another save quit for a little bit. And so I can afford to stack all this critical hit damage. So, yeah, right here, he has to get into a little, there's like a trigger that he has to hit before Hammerlock actually walks up. So for the most part, it's just going to be me doing this right here. The main action's going to be on Tokigi for right now. So if you want to describe it.
Yeah, so I just grabbed a few side missions, and I turned in our main mission and grabbed Claptrap so that Utsu is going to be able to escort Claptrap while I do this side mission. And once we finish this side mission, we'll be able to do another side mission that gives us a really good sniper rifle that'll help us save a lot of time with fighting bosses and all that great stuff.
Yeah, bosses will sometimes take up a good brunt of time in a casual playthrough. But in this playthrough, because we have all this like critical hit damage and such, we just save so much time because we do so much damage. The run used to be where the Axton would be equipped with a rocket launcher because that was the only way that he could hope to keep up with damage. What you just saw there was I missed the trigger with Claptrap, and that's because sometimes Claptrap he's a very finicky character, and sometimes he just doesn't he just doesn't give you the trigger. He's very specific about the triggers. So Tokigi right now he's going to go do that mission that gives us that sniper rifle, and I'm going to keep escorting Claptrap into as he mentioned before, Boom Boom. Boom Boom is this guy Captain Flint. He hasn't been able to talk yet because we keep save quitting out of him, but he's basically the guy who runs this glacier. And if we want to get off and be able to go to Sanctuary, which is where Claptrap is saying that we need to go, and the person who's been talking to us, we don't really... In the story, we don't know her identity, so we'll go more into that once we get to her. But, so here's some evidence of that the critical hit damage goes onto all of my weapons. It doesn't just go into snipers. Like, you saw that I was shooting with that assault rifle, and I was still doing a lot of critical hit damage. So here is showing again that I need my hotbars to be filled to be able to pick up these snipers, or else they don't work, because, however, just guns that I do drop normally are real. So yeah, so here we're going to meet Boom Boom. They're basically a double boss. They're two bosses in one. But, like, there's Boom, who's the big one. He gets on that cannon that you see at the left there. And then there's Bewm, B-E-W-M, who's his little brother. He'll say here real quick.
So right here, while Utsu is fighting this boss, I'm just gathering as much XP as possible, because there's a point later on in the game where we're going to have to be a certain level to get certain gear. So a lot of my job in this run is just grabbing as much experience as possible.
So what you saw there was I literally just shot Boom Boom like 4 times and he was dead. That fight takes like a solid at least 2 minutes in casual play. What you saw there was Claptrap tutorial dialogue has extremely high priority over anything, even the echoes. And so essentially, while Claptrap is talking, I wouldn't be able to get on that can to be able to blow open that door, because we need to blow open that door with the can to be able to get through. However, because I picked up a grenade mod, Claptrap starts telling me about grenade mods, so it makes him stop talking about the grenade mods. So there you see me turn in the mission, and we get this really high damage, high fire rate sniper rifle. If you want to tell them like how the different rarities work.
Yeah, so white and blue sniper rifles, at least this is for Jacob's manufacturer, shoot very slowly, but we just got a green one, and green ones shoot very fast. They always have a very high fire rate, which is very good because Jacob's sniper rifles also have really high damage and really high critical hit damage. So we're going to be able to 2 or 3 hit the boss here that we just fought, Boom Boom.
What you saw, what was it? What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so we were talking about manufacturing and stuff. So there are several different weapon manufacturers in this game. There's Torg, which specializes in making guns explosive, Vladov, which is high fire rate, Jacobs, which is high damage, Malon, which is elemental, Hyperion, which is accuracy. They all like have their own little gimmicks. And you'll be seeing Tokiki and I looking for a specific kind of sniper rifle for me, because the sniper rifle I've been duplicating, we have pre-made character save files, and mine has a sniper rifle that has all of a manufacturer called doll parts onto a Jacob sniper, which is the best for duplicating that sniper, because the more I duplicate, I get more critical hit damage, but I also start to gain accuracy from it, and if I gain bad accuracy, then that'll also stack on, which isn't good.
Right there you'll see I dropped 2 items for Utsu, and he just spec'd into a skill that increases his movement speed while he's aimed down sights. So he's creating a math error by aiming down his sights and dropping his guns. So the game still thinks he's aimed down sight, and once he drops his gun, the game is still thinking he's aimed down sight. So it's thinking he's aimed down sights like 20, 30 times by the time I finish Boom Boom.
By the end of the run, it's like 300 plus times that thing. So it just keeps adding a movement speed buff. So I basically stack until he kills this first boss here, and then I grab these, and then you'll see I move really fast. I just run extremely fast now. And I'm going to be running this fast for the rest of the game, effectively.
Even faster later on.
And it just, yeah, it gets worse. And this is used for all sorts of things, because with the more movement speed, my momentum is also higher. So what you're going to see here is I'm going to hit a checkpoint. You saw earlier when we save quit out of the claptrap area that we save quit to go to the next checkpoint. However, here Toki is just going to die, because whenever you die, the checkpoints are called something new you, and in lore it's not quite canon, but it basically constructs a clone of your character, and that's essentially just how you respawn. And because I hit this checkpoint and Toki died, he's just thrown forward into the level where I was. So right here, if you want to describe what you're doing.
Yeah, so I'm going to be killing some enemies here, and there's going to be another badass enemy here. He's a marauder. And badass enemies give extremely high experience points, and as I said earlier, I'm just trying to get as much experience as possible. So I'm going to kill him, and I'm going to kill all the other dudes here, and I'm going to check a weapon crate here to see if we got any good weapons for later on in the run. So there goes the marauder.
What's going on here is I just killed that whole camp of people that were preventing Claptrap from going forward any further. What happens here in the story is that Claptrap, yeah, he'll describe it in a few seconds. Claptrap can't go upstairs. And here you're seeing Tokiki do the death warp thing again. And I'm just going to crit stack because we save quit before, so I don't have my crit stacks anymore. So yeah, so Claptrap can't climb stairs, so he needs another way up. And luckily, there's an elevator. And so, yeah, so Tokiki here is going to get some ammo, he's going to get some grenades, and I'm just going to keep getting more and more critical hit damage, because we're finally going to fight Flint, who's been sort of talking to us. You just heard him there. He is, he's got a really cool mechanic where, like, as you do more damage, he'll eventually go invincible, and he'll start, like, making the whole arena on fire. Unfortunately, we don't get to see that. We just kill him too fast because we do so much damage. You just saw Toki spec into a skill. If you want to describe what that skill does.
Yeah, I spec'd into a skill called Close Enough, which gives me a chance to get a ricocheted bullet whenever I'm shooting. And we're going to take a huge amount of advantage of that later on in the run. But right now I'm just speccing into it for later. It's not going to help me very much here.
So this is Flint. He has a crit spot that you can only hit in the back of his head because of his mask, but I do insane crit damage, so he's dead. That fight would usually last, like, much longer than that. But again, because of the crit damage, he just dies instantly. There's another bug that we can do there, where if we wait for him to jump down and kill him at a specific time, then we won't have to fight these guys, and Claptrap will just come and open this door for us. However, it's been found that it's much faster to just kill him near immediately. Here you're seeing me put another point into that skill because this makes me go even faster the more skill points I have in expertise. And as I'm just going to be stacking this skill, and while I stack this, Togi's just going to be escorting Claptrap through this mission. The end of missions are usually kind of dull in the beginning. The beginning has a bit of a slow start, but it definitely picks up much later. So Togi's going to grab these guns, he's just going to sell them later on.
Yeah, I'm picking up as many guns as I can to sell for later on because we're going to have to buy some gear.
Money isn't a problem, but from time to time it can become a problem depending on how things go for us. So here's going to turn the mission, and then he's going to travel. And as he travels, I'm just going to keep stacking. And so that was Southern Shelf. Now we're moving on to Three Horns Divide. I'm just going to run all the way up here, and Togi's going to get ready to die. Because I hit a checkpoint up here, and I'm just going to spam E on this. Because when I spam E on this, there's a dialogue that this thing gives off that skips basically all the other dialogue that's going on. So this is Angel, that's her name. And you just saw me jump that. I'll get in that a little bit later. We need to hack that, but in order to hack it, we need to grab this thing from a loader. Because of how I spammed E on that car station, it just let me grab it immediately. Now what you would see me do there was, because I'm so fast, I can just jump that gap, rather than actually have to do the objective. Togi, though, has to stay behind to actually do the objective. Luckily, because of how cars work and car stations in this, you can teleport to any car from any station, and Togi just shows up.
So yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of dialogue skipping here. This button has insanely high priority over other people when they're talking, so I'm going to be pressing the button and skipping a lot of dialogue.
Yeah, you're going to see, like, all of this dialogue is overlapping, and that's basically a theme in this run. Dialogue overlapping.
It becomes a mess.
It just sounds, like, atrocious. So, there's a thing with those psychos you just saw me kill. Essentially, I cannot kill those psychos until they finish saying the line, "Your skag bait grinder." However, because Togi killed them, or pushed that line and skipped the dialogue, I can push it faster. So as we said earlier also, Claptrap tutorial is insanely high priority. Even higher than this button that has higher priority.
Yeah.
So rather than waiting for a line with Roland saying that we need to get the power core back to Sanctuary, we can just go.
And now we're in Sanctuary.
Yeah, we're going to be coming back to Three Horns Divide several times. It's sort of like the sub-hub area. So that's Lieutenant Davis, and I'm just going to put in that power core that we got earlier. But yeah, so this run, Sanctuary is the main hub area, but there's always a sub-hub area that you will generally come back to. So what you're going to see me do here is I drop my sniper rifle for Tokigi, and Tokigi has a bug that he can do as the host that gives him more critical hit damage as well. Not as much as me, but he gets some too.
Yeah, it's not nowhere near as much critical hit damage, but if I switch weapons and I open my menu and I switch my weapons in the menu, like which order they were in, I'll gain the critical hit damage from one gun and move it on to the other. This can be applied to lots of attributes, not just critical hit damage, but it's most useful with critical hit damage.
So this is Scooter. Actually, not really. This is Marcus. Because we're supposed to see the Scooter cutscene there. He's the guy who builds the cars and who we sort of heard on the car station earlier. And cutscenes, these are like, there are only 3 pre-rendered cutscenes in this game, and they're in Sanctuary. And so we skipped one cutscene with another one, so we didn't have to watch that cutscene later. And here you just saw another dialogue skip. We skipped Scooter's dialogue with Marcus's side quest dialogue, so that Toki could start picking up the power cells and the Iridium soon. Iridium is the stuff that spawned from the first game. There's this thing in this game called the Vault, and in the first game, after they opened the Vault, it said in this game that started making the stuff called Iridium, which we don't really know what it is. It just has weird powers. and so it's highly valuable in this universe. So that's Earl, and Earl is basically where you go to spend iridium to buy like more ammo and such. There we skipped another dialogue from Scooter that would cause this whole cutscene here to not happen with that like rumbling and the generator sounds. But we skipped with just walking up to Hammerlock and then grabbing his quest again. And because we skipped those dialogues, Togi could open up that door for me early, and I can proceed with the quest. So here I'm going to come up here to this, I'm going to grab this echo that's in here that Roland tells us is in there, and Togi's just going to go ahead and travel. So we move from Sanctuary back into Three Horns Divide, and as I go ahead and I run to the next area, Togi's just sort of gonna look at gear, see if there's anything that I can use. Maybe a sniper rifle I can duplicate to get better accuracy than the Jacobs one that I have. The best sniper rifle for me to duplicate is Hyperion Manufacture with any part other than a dull part. I went over the parts earlier. Dull parts are probably the worst parts because they give you a lot of recoil reduction but horrible accuracy. Recoil in this game is when the crosshair grows and when it like shrinks and moves around and everything. However, accuracy is the general size of the crosshair, and we want it to be as small as possible. There's other ways to bug out the game to give ourselves better accuracy, but we need to be a higher level later on in the game to do that.
Right here, we're going to see a bug where before we've been just hitting checkpoints and letting me die so I can go ahead in levels. But this time, we're going to do it while we're in a cutscene. And that's going to make me be able to move while I'm in the spawning in animation.
So this is Lilith. She is the person that we heard on the Echo earlier, the Firehawk. And Lilith is a Vault Hunter from the original game. She was a playable character. And they sort of brought all of the Vault Hunters back as sort of like an homage here. So what you're going to see me do here is a much more exaggerated version of the weapon duplication. So if I start spinning both of my scroll wheels and mashing E, it's going to dupe the not real gun that I pick up, but still make a gun that can become real. So there I drop some for Toki to use because it is the lasso. It is an extremely good doll manufacturer SMG. And it's also worth a lot of money so we can sell it later. But for right now, it's just a really good gun to use. Especially with more critical hit damage. You saw me drop that grenade mod just a little bit earlier too. You're going to see why at the end of this fight that Togi has to go through.
So you're going to see me merge the sniper rifles into my SMG here, where I just switch weapons, I open my menu, and I drag the weapon onto the weapon I'm trying to merge it into. So I merged my critical hit damage into another sniper rifle, and then all of that critical hit damage into my lasso.
What you saw me do there with trying to set that Psycho on fire was there's a line that they'll say from time to time about them being on fire, and it has somewhat higher priority than Lilith, so it can cut off some of her dialogue and let the fight start earlier. So right here, Togi is just sort of doing the fight to complete the objective, and I am running around doing my best to get us XP and some gear from certain things called weapon crates. There are weapon crates in this game, and they just spawn gear. It can be good gear, it can be bad gear, it'll just spawn gear randomly. The name of this game is RNG. Everything is RNG dependent. And so just the more chances we get at RNG, the better our chances are of getting the RNG we want.
Yeah, that's one of the great parts of this game. It's no two runs are ever really the same. They're always at least a little different, which makes this game really interesting to run.
So right here you're seeing I'm just doing a lot of critical hit damage with my lasso. So is Tokiki. So here's the first weapon crate that I have to check. And right here, I'm focusing on killing enemies as I check this, because there's a mechanic in this game called not really a mechanic, it's just the way the engine works of spawn stealing. If you want to go into detail about that.
So if Utsu is spawning a lot of enemies in the area he's in, I'm not going to be getting any enemies spawning where I am because only a certain amount of enemies can be on the map at once. So I'm not going to be able to finish the objective because I'm basically just in like an arena gauntlet where I have to kill a bunch of enemies until the objectives are over. There are like 4 waves of enemies. 2 of them are badass waves. And it's very important that I kill these enemies because that'll let us level up faster and it'll finish the objective so that we can get ahead in the game.
So what you had seen I killed there was called a Loot Goon Goliath. It has a weapon crate on his back and he's a rare spawn. But not only does he give us a lot of experience points, he also gives us a chance at some RNG here. What you saw there from me was that ladders are finicky with Axton's speed glitch, so sometimes when you get the top of them, it will just toss you forward. So if you want to describe the grenade bug that you're about to do here.
So right here, Utsu skipped some dialogue with this line earlier, but I haven't picked up a grenade mod yet, so I'm going to pick it up right there. And Claptrap tutorial dialogue is going to outweigh Lilith's dialogue here. So she's supposed to tell us all about Iridium and how she wants to go get Roland and everything, but we just skip all of that and we just leave.
There'd be this thing where she would like teleport us after we turned in the mission, all that, but because of how objectives work, we can just go. So here there's an objective that we have to time perfectly. Well, not really perfectly, but somewhat perfectly, where Togi has to get into this car as she says vehicle, or else it won't count as getting the vehicle, and he'll have to get out of his car and back in. And that's really bad, because here he has to do something specifically with a car.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to honk my horn at this gate, making the bandits think that we're also bandits trying to join them. And there would be dialogue there if we didn't just leave the area already that says, like, hey, that's not one of us, and they're not going to let us in. So we're going to have to come here to the dust and make our own bandit car so that we can get into that camp and try to save Roland.
So what you're going to see here is what I call early dialogue. And you can, whenever the objective is to talk to a character, you can get that dialogue early before their cutscene starts. So here I talk to Ellie early, and she's been saying her line through all of this, but it's quiet because it's in the cutscene. She usually has this whole thing that she'd say during then, but I procced her dialogue early, so we don't have to like wait for her to talk or anything right now. So right here, Togi is just going to do the quest, and I'm looking for a specific gun called the Gwen's Head. It's a reference to a movie that had Morgan Freeman in it. It was something about the 7 Deadly Sins. It was like a serial murder movie or whatever. But the only reason we care about it is because it gives me 38% increased critical hit damage, but it gives me a different kind of critical hit damage. So there's Type A, Type B, and Type C. Type C is just negative crit A, it just takes away from critical hit damage. Type A is basically an amplification of your base damage. So if you get a crit damage, it'd take 100 damage and make it 2. However, Type B will take that 200 damage you'd initially get and multiply it by whatever the percentage is. So by duplicating the Gwen's Head with a sniper rifle, I get effectively the highest damage I can possibly get. So here I'm just collecting the parts as Tokigi just sort of gets ready to turn in this mission to Ellie. And then once he turns in the mission to Ellie, I'm sort of going to travel out. As you can see there, the lasso was worth a lot of money. We're basically done with it for now. There's only like one more place we have to use it. But once that's over, we just never use it again. So then I got the last thing. I'm going to buy some ammo because ammo is really scarce for me in this part. And if I run out of ammo, it can be a big deal because I'm somewhat the main damage output in the beginning of the game once I start getting all of my crit stacks.
So here we finally finished making our car, and we're going to go try to trick the bandits into letting us in.
Yeah, so because we have a car like them, they use these cars called Bandit Technicals, and so they know like what cars are theirs and which cars aren't.
And there are 2 different kinds of Bandit Technicals. There's one that has a saw blade gun, and there's one that we're using that has a catapult with an explosive barrel in it. The explosive barrel technical is the fastest car in the game. So that's what we use to get around in the game if we have to use cars. Utsu's faster than a speeding car, though, so I rarely have to use them.
The only time that Togi ever has to use a car is when he has to go somewhere else other than me. So So what you saw there was a huge dialogue skip. Usually the guy who you sort of heard, who's the leader of all these people, his name is Flanksteak. You heard him before in Frostburn Canyon. He'd be like, "We've been tricked," and then he'd tell this boss Badma to come out. But because I ran so fast through there, it just doesn't give us the dialogue, and it just starts the cutscene.
It saves a good.
Yeah, this is Badma.
Seconds?
Yeah, 10 seconds. This is Badma. His whole mechanic is that he's got a shield, and he'd be really easy if I could hit his crit spot. But the way he does his aggro is really odd. So I'm letting Tokigi kill him here because it'd be faster for Tokigi to kill him than for me to start to revive him. You probably saw Tokigi start to revive Lilith earlier. That was basically just teaching the revive mechanics. But allies can get each other up in this game just by holding E on each other if one's down. But it's faster for them to just kill another enemy because that instantly gets them up. So you're going to see us go back out here and fight Badma again. That's because we need to be level 10 before we leave this area to start spawning a specific type of gun called a rocket launcher. And we need a specific manufacturer of rocket launcher to start up to do a glitch that we used for the entire run. I mean, gun 2. We'll get more into the glitch once we actually get the items.
Yeah, so here we've killed Badma twice, but I'm still not level 10. So we're going to go back into the Bloodshot Stronghold and just start killing some guys until I'm level 10. And then we're going to travel to Sanctuary. And then we're going to save and quit, and we'll be able to spawn rocket launchers.
Yeah, the game is very checkpoint-based. All the way through. Objectives to even weapon vendors. So weapon vendors don't become available to spawn launchers until we're level 10. But, it's also, it does that check when we go back to Sanctuary for the first time. Once we reach level 10. So here does the check. And the vendors, they're on a timer for whenever their loot will become new loot. So to instantly cycle that timer, Togi here is just going to go and quit out. Sometimes you'll see Togi mess up a little bit. That's because the keyboard combination is slightly weird. It's a end, enter, up, enter.
Escape, end, enter, up, enter. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's really easy to hit a wrong key if you're not used to the thing. We are, so we usually get it consistently. So what you saw there was Togi joined my game instead of his game. The reason why he joined my game instead was because sometimes if you go too slow or too fast, the host game just won't spawn launchers no matter what, even if you are the correct level. So it's better and faster for Toki to join my game, which will always be on level, because I'm off host. It's the first time I've started the game on my client, so that we can guarantee the launch will be spawned.
Yeah, and on our first try, I got the 2 perfect items we needed for continuing the run, so we're not going to have to keep farming for items.
The 2 items... Yeah, the 2 items were, again, a Vladoff rocket launcher and a Jacobs manufacturer shotgun. A Jacobs shotgun lets you fire... It lets you shoot the gun, in quotes, as fast as you can pull the trigger. However, it just has a really high fire rate. They never intended for you to be able to shoot the gun more than 4 times.
Yeah.
However, we're going to give ourselves infinite ammo with a bug with the Vladoff rocket launcher, if you'd like to describe that math error.
So the Vladoff rocket launchers, every 3rd shot or so, sometimes it varies with the rocket launcher, they'll just occasionally not use ammo. So if we can get our launcher down to the point where it's not going to use ammo, and we switch our weapon and then switch right back to the rocket launcher, that gives us a stack of one of those not using ammo points. So if we do it multiple times, our Jacob shotguns use 2 ammo per shot. So if we stack that twice, we won't use any ammo whenever we shoot our Jacob shotguns, making them have infinite ammo. Also, this is the point where that point I spec'd into during the Captain Flint fight is going to get important, where I get ricocheted bullets, and they hit things a ton. in closed areas like this.
It's practically an aimbot.
Yeah, it really is.
Also, what you're going to be seeing here is Togi's going to rebind his fire weapon to just mouse wheel down, because Togi also has a free scroll mouse, but he doesn't need to duplicate or anything. He just needs to shoot really fast.
Yeah, so instead of just spamming my mouse button, it's way easier to just have my mouse wheel scrolling constantly. I messed up a little bit there. I forgot to rebind the key. But I fixed my duplicate or my merging there, and then I set it, and it's fine.
So what you're seeing me, you probably just have been seeing me do it for a little bit now. Bloodshot Stronghold has several areas where the wall just doesn't have collision. So I can just get out of bounds and then get back in bounds easily right at the end of the map. So there's usually this area in the middle where you have to fight this guy called Mad Mike. He's basically a Badma clone.
Yeah, he's like a mini boss. He's like a mini boss.
Yeah, he shows up and then he dies within like a second or two, because at that point you're usually on level if you're playing correctly casually. But we still have to kill all the enemies in the room they spawns before he spawns. So it's just much faster. Just get out of bounds and then get back in bounds and then come get Roland.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, this is Roland. He's the commander of the Crimson Raiders.
Yep.
And so Togi's just going to keep killing people, and I'm going to start doing some crit stacking, because there's a boss here that captures Roland. And because Roland is highly wanted by that guy you've been sort of hearing, Handsome Jack. He's the hero of this story. He's the bad guy. He's talking right now. And he wants Roland. And the Bloodshots stole Roland. And now he stole Roland from the Bloodshots who stole Roland.
Yeah, the Bloodshots have been trying to sell Roland to Hyperion. You'll hear little lines of that throughout the map. But Hyperion decides that that's too much money, so they just kind of send in an army of robots to go kill the Bloodshots.
Yeah, so here we're going to be doing another Death Warp. So yeah, there's the boss that Roland got captured by. I'm just going to kill him in 2 seconds. Meanwhile, Togi is going to just sort of manage his inventory real quick.
Yeah, I'm looking for a good gear for later on. So there's an item in this vendor called an Anarchist class mod, and class mods just increase certain... they give you % or point-based increases to help you play the game better. So that one gave me increased gun damage, but decreased accuracy.
And that's to imitate a skill that he got called Anarchy, that you've probably been seeing him build. And it essentially... it gives him way more damage for every enemy he kills, and every time he reloads with an empty magazine, but obviously we're not going to be reloading. So that just ups his base damage more and more and more, but decreases his accuracy. But his accuracy doesn't matter because he's got that aim bot close enough. So as you can see here, he's just demolishing these enemies.
Yeah, these enemies are just kind of melting. Except Utsu's down now, so I need to let him kill someone.
However, this game is a great mechanic of it has the Vault Hunters fight with you whenever you encounter them. And it's really cool for a casual playthrough, but it can get really frustrating because they can also kill enemies that you're trying to get up from.
Yeah, so you can't get up, and I had to revive him there. Minor problem. Right there, you'll see that we turn in quests at the 2 second mark quite often. But, and that just helps us save time.
Because whenever you're in a menu during a travel, the game will pause the travel because someone's in a menu. However, at the 2 second mark, it's strangely more lenient, and it just lets you be in the menu for like a second or two. So here we're gonna meet another Vault Hunter. You saw me earlier. I got a Vladov sniper, and from another weapon vendor. It looked like a toilet. Weapon crates. They get really wild. I like them.
Yeah,
they're really silly in this game. There's like toilets to like super mechanical things. So here, the intended way to do this mission right here is to, like, you get that fire gun that you see that Togi just picked up. It's called a Flint's Tinderbox. It has a really high ignite chance. However, I'm just sort of going to gather all these bug things over here. They're called Varkids. I'm just going to sort of shoot these fire melons that just explode into fire. Set on fire.
Yeah, and I'm just going to be trying to get ahead in the mission so that Utsu doesn't have to do every objective here. So I'm going to go grab some things that we're going to have to pick up later on in a bandit camp.
So this is Mordecai. He's another one of the playable Vault Hunters.
From Borderlands 1.
Yeah, so that's Roland, Lilith, and Mordecai so far that we've met. His pet Bloodwing. And I just found it really cool with my first playthrough that they included them.
Yeah, it was really cool. Although Borderlands 2 was my first game in the series, so I didn't really get it.
So here, this is Tiny Tina. I'm gonna do another dialogue, early dialogue here. So Tina, she's a demolitions expert, and usually she would right here she'd be telling us all about how Roland sent us and how she can help us get the vault key, which we didn't get to hear Mordecai tell us about. But the vault key, which is this key that you get in Borderlands 1, which can open the vault, it's on a train right now, and we need to hijack it. So we're getting Tina to help us. So there you saw me pick up a quest to skip a dialogue that Tina has so that Tuhi can go ahead and get these rockets early. In the mission objective, it's called Badonkadonk because that's what Tina refers to it as.
Yeah. So I'm going to pick these up as fast as I can and try to get out of here and do a side mission really fast. That can give us some really good gear.
So you see that we're using this Jacob shotgun here. This one is really low damage in comparison to what we can have, even though it's still doing a lot of damage. So our goal in doing this mission is to get the potential Jacob shotgun that it can spawn, but from time to time it just doesn't give us one. We can finish a run with this with this white Jacob shotgun we have. It just is a little bit harder than if we got better gear. But every run is finishable with the first gear that you get in Sanctuary. So there you saw me. I started up a side quest, and just let's start talking. It skipped all this other dialogue because there's all this dialogue that Tina would go on about how I would need to put up the Badonkadonks, and then I would need to activate them and arm them so she could activate them and launch them. But I just skipped it all. There I'm getting 2 class mods that we want. One's called a Gunner, which boosts team fire rate, which, even though it looks like we're shooting this shotgun fast already, it can shoot even faster. It's just limited by the fire rate. So whenever I put on the Gunner, Tugi gets a lot more fire rate. I don't ever bind a scroll wheel to fire. Because of the way off-host shooting works, it can just get weird. The bullets can go in any direction, and it's just inconsistent. It's just easier to click to shoot. So here, Tugi's just managing his inventory, and I'm running to a boss that's been built up for this entire time. His name's Wilhelm, and he's apparently who basically defeated all of the old Vault Hunters in the last game. And he's really built up, and we immediately kill him. So here I check this weapon vendor, or weapon crate, and there's nothing in it that's relevant to us. So here, you can't see it, but the mission objectives tells us to go back to Sanctuary. However, it's a lot faster for this run for us to go to Three Horns Divide and me to run to the travel to Sanctuary, because that spawns Toki closer to the objective that we need to reach. Yeah. And Toki can't run super fast, so...
Right here, you're going to see something very familiar from earlier, closer in the beginning of the game, where we're going to spawn in right here, and we're going to go here and try to put in a power core, like we did when we first got to Sanctuary. But something's going to go wrong with this power core. So here's the big plot twist in Borderlands 2. The girl that's been helping you since Borderlands 1 is working for Jack. So you're betrayed and Sanctuary is under attack now. So what we're going to try to do is, from earlier in the game, Scooter tried to make the city fly, but it didn't work. So we're going to try to do that again because Sanctuary is kind of getting attacked really badly right now.
The story behind why Sanctuary can fly and everything is because Sanctuary is an old, dull mining ship, which essentially, so like it was brought here. Pandora got extremely popular like before this game, in terms of the game's lore, because of the word of the old vault, and so all these companies started showing up to try to get rich from the stuff that was here, and so Dull sent their best mining ship, which was Sanctuary, to be able to mine stuff, and they just left Sanctuary here. So that's why Sanctuary can fly. Now here, there was gonna be this big thing about like Lilith teleporting the city and like her teleporting us on accident, but we just travel out of there and skip like a 4-minute cutscene.
Yeah,
of us just standing there. It wastes a lot of time, and I think Shockwave was the one who found that skip. Like,
was it?
Like, I think he's the one who found the traveling to Bloodshot skip.
Okay.
It was shown like at a previous GDQ that you could just skip that, but there was a much different way where like you had to get teleported first and then jump across this gap and hit a checkpoint, respawn, then travel out.
Yeah, it was a lot more convoluted before. It's become a lot easier to do that section of the game since then.
So what you're seeing here from me is Tokiki. Yeah, I'm just gonna let Tokiki describe what he just spec'd into.
I just spec'd into a skill called Buck Up, which makes my action skill Death Trap that you've seen before. He'll like shoot a ray, like a beam of shield recharging, that recharges my shields really quickly. But if I don't have a shield on when he's doing it, and we travel at the same time, it'll make the game think that I'm just constantly getting that from Death Trap. So it'll make my shields recharge extremely fast. And what you're going to see me looking at here in this vendor is a shield called an amp shield. In amp shields, whenever they're fully charged and you shoot a shot, they add damage to the shot you shot. So,
however, it subtracts from the capacity every time you shoot it. It has to be fully charged before it does the damage.
Yeah, so since we have this shield that recharges really fast, I'm just constantly getting that increased damage from the shield.
So here what Tokiki's buying me is he's buying me something called a turtle shield, which is essentially just an extremely high capacity shield that just it lowers my health in consequence, but we're going to be under leveled by the end of the run anyways, so it's better for me to have high shields rather than high health. So yeah, there's gear in this game called Legendary Gear, which is extremely rare gear that like does weird things. And there's one called the Bee, which is an amp shield that just doesn't subtract from your charge, so it always gives you that damage. So essentially, Tokiki is making himself a Bee.
Yeah, I'm making myself a Legendary shield to use for the rest of the game. Well, once we hit level 15.
Here, Tokiki's going to do his, the skill is called Buck Up, and he's going to be doing his, the Buck Up glitch again. Here I'm dropping a amp damage shield for him. It's much better than the one that he got before. Every shield has like a specific amount of amp damage. That can be anywhere early game, like level 15, that can be anywhere from
25 to 150-ish.
And
so it drastically varies. So it's really good to get as high as you can because you're doing a ton of damage later on. And you're really low on base damage since we're really under-leveled at this point in the game.
The shield that I got him had, I think it was like 110 amp damage. And essentially, that puts 110 damage onto every pellet of his gun.
Which did get patched later on, but we use an older patch of Borderlands 2 to speedrun it.
We use version 1.1.0, which is it's the buggiest version of this game.
Here's the other version of the Bandit Technical. I was supposed to get a barrel one here, but I was just kind of spawning it in very quickly, and I still hit a trigger I have to hit here, which is a fast travel location that we're going to have to be able to get to later on.
He wasn't really wasting any time, though, because I still had to check some weapon crates and that weapon vendor to see if I had any of the gear we needed. Because, again, we could finish a run with this first shotgun. However, it's just exponentially easier with better gear. It's still very plausible, though, with this shotgun. So here you're going to see that I get the buck up glitch here. It can be put on to anybody, even people who aren't the Necromancer. And it's just good for me to have it because there's a lot of parts where I have to run through really high leveled enemies, and the only thing keeping me alive is my shield recharging so fast. So what we're doing here is something called overlook skip. Usually, there'd be this whole fight where we'd have to defend this beacon, and it'd take like a solid 7 minutes or something like that. It'd just take a really long time. But we can cut a good portion off of this fight. A good portion being the whole fight.
Yeah.
Just by leaving, coming back, fixing the beacon, and then going back and doing it over and over again. You have to do that about 8 times, and the game will eventually just take pity on you and finish the quest for you.
Yeah, because it thinks the beacon is just constantly breaking because you're supposed to be defending it from lots of loader bots. So it thinks you're just constantly failing the mission, so it eventually goes like, okay, here, you finished the mission, good job.
Yeah, this game is very it's very lenient for casual play. Like, it has enough challenge, but it still is good for new players and such. Yeah. This game is really easy to get into game. It's got a low skill floor, but a high skill ceiling for casual play, that is.
Yeah.
The run is you can do the run at whatever skill level you want, really.
Yeah, there's so many different categories for this game. So many different ways to play the game with the different categories too.
Yeah, there's there's solo runs, there's 3-player co-op runs, there's 2-player co-op runs, 4-player. 2-player is just the fastest version. But 2-player isn't the fastest version for all categories. There's all quests, which is faster with 3 players by a significant margin.
Yeah.
4-player used to be the fastest before the weapon duplication glitch was found. But yeah, this is overlook skip.
Yeah, overlook skip is not a very interesting portion of the game. The rest of the game is a lot more interesting.
This is the slowest the game gets. It's 3 buck-ups, 8 retries of this, and then we finally get to go. This is the halfway mark of the run, essentially. Sort of. This is about when we feel like if we want to reset for a better time or not.
Yeah, we reset around this time here. Because if you don't get new gear and you have a really bad shotgun, you're not going to get very far in the run. We have a pretty good shotgun, so it's going to go pretty well.
Better times have either extremely good gameplay or extremely good gear, or a mix of both. I think the world record run has new gear, but they have a long rider, I think.
Yeah, they use a really bad shotgun that's kind of frowned upon. Well, not frowned upon in the community, but kind of frowned upon using. You don't want to use that gun because it has no bullet spread.
It's called a long rider, which is a Jacob shotgun, but it has a single barrel instead of a double barrel like ours. Again, as I said before, there's different weapon parts for every gun, every manufacturer and such. But every manufacturer doesn't make every gun, strangely.
Which they did in Borderlands 1, but they don't in Borderlands 2.
Yeah, it's kind of odd, but so here the run is finally picking up. So here we're going to this place called Wildlife Preservation because Claptrap, we were informed by Angel. We skipped the whole dialogue, but Angel was supposed to inform us about how there's this stuff that's in the way of us getting to her who has the vault key. And the whole goal of Roland and the Vault Hunters and us is to get the vault key so we can stop Jack from opening the vault, which has this thing in there that he's going to kill us with. We skip a lot of the story text in this run, but we know the story well enough that we can just fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
So here, Claptrap is he's out of date, and there's this door we need to open, but Claptrap isn't he doesn't have high enough priority to or not priority, clearance, I guess, to open that door. Claptrap is from a discontinued line of CO4P TP units from Hyperion, which Jack canceled them because he didn't like Claptraps.
Yeah, because they're annoying and like to dance too much.
That's Claptrap. He likes to dance. So we're basically going through here because Mordecai's bird Bloodwing was captured by Hyperion and she has the upgrade chip for Claptrap on her collar. So we're essentially just running through here, and we need to wound these loaders right now to send in these things called repair surveyors, which are basically these just flying robots that can repair loaders. So there we go, we did it. There you could see Toki's amp shield, well, not his amp shield, his buck up glitch go up.
Yeah, if you were watching my shield there, my shield goes up really fast. And if you watch my shield now, I'm getting shot, so it's going up really fast every time it goes down.
Here I'm going to skip this line with Tannis with a quest, which I'm going to push this button, but I wouldn't be able to push this button before without her being quiet. And if I let her talk, it takes like another, like...
minute.
Not minute, it's like 10 seconds, but still. Time save is time save.
Yeah.
Here I'm buying a new, amp shield for Tokii, because he's going to need more capacity later on to survive just like me. And if he doesn't get a new amp shield, he'll just be dying a whole lot and losing that anarchy. Because whenever he's down, he starts to lose stacks of anarchy. You've probably been seeing that my accuracy has been increasing significantly, and that's because I swapped from duping the Jacob Sniper to the Hyperion Sniper. And the only downside of the Hyperion Sniper over the Jacob Sniper is the Jacob Sniper gives me 120% critical hit damage whenever I duplicate, but the Hyperion Sniper only gives me 100% critical hit damage whenever I duplicate. So there you saw Toki put on his Anarchist class mod, and I've got my Gunner class mod on now. So once Toki finishes remerging here, you're going to see his fire rate has gone way up.
You're also going to see me spec into a skill called the Better Half. And if you haven't noticed already, my gun only has 1 bullet in the clip instead of 2. Because I have a skill that increases my fire rate for the last half of my clip. So if half of my clip is depleted, I get increased fire rate. So if I lower my clip and then I give myself infinite ammo, I always have it set to half, and I'm going to get really high fire rate later on in the run. And I have really high fire rate now, too.
So what you saw there was, that was sort of like a mini boss.
Yeah.
It was just a high-level enemy that they spawned there to seem like a challenge. However, we do so much damage so rapidly that we just destroy it, when in like a casual playthrough, if we were this level, we would have no hope of killing it. So just like Bloodshot Stronghold, this map also has a lot of problems. This thing here, it's not real. That wall there, not real. And so now I'm out of bounds, and that's not real. And so this is the arena that you fight the boss of this level in. And Jack did something to Bloodwing while we were trying to get her.
Yeah, a thing they've been doing in this map is testing on wildlife to see what iridium and slag do to them.
And they essentially just did a bunch of testing on Bloodwing and altered her, because Jack knows that Bloodwing is dear to Mordecai. Bloodwing is Mordecai's action skill in Borderlands 1. It's his pet, so obviously it's really loyal. So this part in the base game with a casual playthrough is supposed to like make the player, if they played Borderlands 1 or if they just played this game, feel like terrible. As you're seeing here, Toki's doing his own version of Bloodwing skip, as we call it.
Yeah, so I'm gonna grenade jump over that. That's not solid, and a lot of this area isn't either. So now I'm in the arena. That saves 2-3 minutes. That's a really good skip.
Yeah. So here, even though we have such a bad shotgun, we still destroy Bloodwing because I have so much critical hit damage. The reason why Togeki's in here, even if I do all this crit damage, is I can't easily get back into that arena. And once we kill, and once we like defeat Bloodwing, we need to grab the chip from her collar. And once we grab the chip from her collar, we need to wait for those doors you can see on Togeki's screen to open. So rather than wait for those doors open, I just sort of leave, and Togeki stays behind to grab the chip. So here we're traveling, and then Togeki grabs it.
Yep.
And In a casual playthrough, Bloodwing would die there, but Bloodwing doesn't die in the speedrun.
Yeah, Bloodwing doesn't die in the speedrun at all.
Nobody dies in the speedrun.
Yeah, no one dies.
Except for the people who need to die.
Yeah.
So, so here I'm collecting... Okay, oh yeah, no. Here in this run, we were a little bit ahead of ourselves by, like, a little bit of a mission. So here, Togi's going to use this quest to skip this claptrap dialogue.
And I'm going to grab a side mission right here. And that's going to let us do a pretty good skip later on. A good long dialogue skip.
Anyway, so here I'm collecting some side quests for more dialogue skipping later. And, so we're going to travel here. I'm going to wait for 2. Grab those quests. And so now we're in the Highlands, but we're on our way to 1,000 Cuts. 1,000 Cuts, we're going to meet the last of the 4 Vault Hunters from the first game. But first we have to deal with the Slab King before we get to meet him.
Yeah.
So, the Slab King, he's a Bandit King. What Togi did here was he took off his shield, so Death Trap, and he sort of wasn't able to pick up his shield, so that's gonna be somewhat beneficial here, because in this map, if you kill yourself as you fall down this chasm, you keep your Anarchy. But usually in this map, if you just kill yourself without dying first, all your Anarchy would go away, and so he literally loses like 29% plus damage.
Yeah.
For each stack, you get 1.75% damage increase. So here, he doesn't have a shield, so he's going to go down a little bit. But next level, he gets a new shield, so it's not a big deal. So here, I'm just sort of clearing out the area. And, just making sure that these people die quick, so that Togi doesn't die. But I accidentally shot that shock barrel, which sort of do like a chain lightning thing from where they are.
Yeah, so it made me go down, and I'm gonna try to kill these badass marauders here, but it doesn't go very well.
It would have been better if we had a better shotgun, but again, he does a lot less damage than me. We're sort of past the point at this point for a shotgun, for like getting a new shotgun, so we're just gonna go and finish the run with this shotgun.
Yeah.
But that's not like not plausible. It just makes the run a little bit harder.
Yeah. But it's totally finishable.
We have and even if like we don't get like a gun in RNG before, we have a way to get a gun so that we can just continue the run and get it done and show off what it's like.
Yeah.
So here, yep, you just saw those guys spawn. That's how spawns work in this area. Because you're not supposed to be up here quite yet.
Yeah.
So here, we're just sort of killing. There's not much else in this area. This is the Slab King's initiation for joining his bandit clan, the Slabs. Sort of ineffective, in my opinion, because you end up with less dudes than you started with in the end. But I guess that sort of ensures you always have the best dude around on your side.
You get the best of the best with the
Slabs.
Clan. Yeah.
Also, yeah, this is Brick, the Slab King and the 4th Vault Hunter.
Yeah, he was the Slab King the whole time. We had no idea.
Who would have guessed it? So here we picked up that quest earlier from Sanctuary, and there'd usually be all this dialogue about, like, Jack bombarding us with beacons and stuff, or something like that.
Mortars,
beacons. And Brick sounds like he's from a Dora the Explorer episode.
It's amazing.
But
that takes too long, so we're not going to listen to it.
We're just going to listen to this guy tell us about how there's a murder or whatever.
In Sanctuary, where we aren't right now.
We aren't right now. So he essentially just sort of looked up where he was and said, "Hey!" He like pulled up his echo and just started talking to us. He knew that we were the guys for the job.
Yeah.
So
we gotta solve a murder.
So here we're just killing all of these loaders because Jack is attacking us. And this is Facebook Shooty. He is having the weirdest hitbox. So there you just saw him fly away.
Yeah, he's on the moon now.
Yeah, he went to the moon. He went to Elpis.
Yeah.
And basically the way that works is if you kill off-host, if you kill Face McShooty too fast, he just goes.
Yeah, he's gone. We'll never see him again.
Ragdolls are weird off-host. Everything's weird off-host.
Yeah.
The netcode, the theme of this game is RNG and netcode sucks.
Yeah. It's just not well done.
But it's so exploitable and fun.
Yeah.
So here we destroy the first beacon. There's 2 more. So we're just gonna kill all these loaders that spawn afterwards because Jack is like, well, they destroy my beacon. Now I'm gonna send down some loaders.
So here I'm gonna put on my amp shield, and you'll see that I'm getting the amp damage.
Yeah.
Whenever there's like the explosion of squares and blueness on someone, you'll see I get amp damage on them.
Yeah, you can see his shield is like going down and going back up. There you saw me specking the wrong skill. Menus are really weird off-host also.
Yeah.
They just don't like to respond sometimes. So I had pressed the down arrow key, then enter. But as I pressed enter, I also tapped the left arrow key. And so it didn't register my enter until it was on the next skill. Which that would be kind of okay, but it gives reload speed.
Yeah.
And we aren't reloading.
Yeah, we're never reloading. Fun fact about this part of the game, too, the beacon, the things that show you where the mortars are going to land are considered bullet decals, so if you're running the game on low settings, you can't see them. So the game is considerably harder.
I mean, hey, you can do that if you want a challenge run.
Yeah.
If you want a bit of a challenge with this area. Yeah, so Brick is programmed to avoid mortars himself, because what kind of a man would it be if he didn't avoid the mortars while screaming at you to avoid the mortars?
Yeah.
But that can cause things to go slower sometimes, because he'll just sort of stand at them angrily.
Although if one of them shows up where he's standing, it'll just hit him and he'll take it like a champ.
Yeah, he's a big dude. Yeah, so here we have to kill these enemies, and then I'm gonna run off to the travel, and Toki's gonna take off his shield to go ahead and get another stack of buck up. So that was the second thing on Angel's bucket list for being able to go and get her. First we need to get Claptrap as upgrade, and then we had to find a way to deal with this thing called the bunker, which is essentially just like a heavily armored fortress.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to go infiltrate it.
And but we needed some more firepower to get up there, so we went to get Brick with his slabs who have buzzards and all this other stuff. And now the last thing that we have to get through is a door that only opens for Jack. So Angel is sending us to Opportunity, which is a Hyperion city that Jack is building to get people to move there and like advertise that Pandora is like going to be peaceful and everything. We don't want peace though.
Yeah, no, that's too easy.
So we show up here to get a way to be like Jack. So you're gonna see me, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna kill a body double.
I'm just going to be going over here and I'm going to be pressing a button that gives us some dialogue skips, and it's going to become an objective later on to press the button.
So here, so the way it works is kind of finicky sometimes. Sometimes it skips dialogue, and sometimes it just repeats dialogue.
Yeah, it's not the most consistent thing, but it helps no matter what, usually.
70% of the time, it works all the time.
Yeah.
And so here,
I fall down here, and I have to get back up. Doesn't lose any time, though.
it's a strat.
It's a strat.
It's not a strat.
It's
So here, I'm just pushing the buttons, and so now that I push those buttons, Togi can continue in the story. But I'm gonna skip some dialogue to let him do that sooner, with some wonderful, wonderful Claptrap dialogue.
Our favorite character.
We love Claptrap. He holds us up in the beginning of the game. He soft-locks us several moments. Claptrap has a lot of soft-locks in this game.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with him.
I don't know what what they were doing with him, but oh well.
Yeah. He has to teach us, though. He's a teacher.
He's a teacher. It's a teacher. So now that now we speak like Jack through the rest of the time until we get past the bunker. Here there's gonna be some dialogue before we have to do another objective in Sanctuary, but it's faster to just leave. So we use this opportunity to go to Overlook.
Which has a weapon vendor, and we're going to see if we can get a better shotgun. If we can't, no big deal. It'll be fine.
We can still finish the run. At this point, we're usually desperate for anything. We'll take a long way, or we're just looking for more damage at that point.
Yeah.
So we went there. There wasn't a shotgun, so we're sticking with this one. This one's fine. And now we're going all the way over here to Claptrap, and we need him to open that door for us. And Roland's all like, it's going to take a lot of convincing to get Claptrap to go. And Claptrap's just cool with it.
Yeah, Claptrap's just like, hey, we should go to 1,000 Cuts. And we're like, oh, okay, yeah, sure.
Claptrap's a bro.
Yeah.
But he's that bro that shows up at like 2 in the morning asking to take you to Taco Bell.
Yeah.
And so you're just sort of going to see me. I'm going to be duplicating for more critical hit damage here. Because it's been a while since I've done that. And the more crit damage, the better. That amp damage shield you saw me get for Tuki earlier, I'm gonna drop that for him so that he's about to be that level. It's a level 17 shield, so one more level and he'll be able to use it. And it does about 40 more amp damage, so that's 40 more damage on his 13 pellets. So you do the math.
It's a lot of damage.
It's a lot more damage per pellet.
It also has more capacity, so it's going to help me stay alive longer. That's really the big reason we get a new amp shield.
So what you saw me do there is I jumped over that wall there, which usually we'd have to wait for Claptrap to go, I will defend you to the death, minion, and then an explosion would go off, the wall would fall, and they'd say, oh god, no I won't, but I can just jump over it.
Yeah.
And then I just continue. And I'm just sort of going to be waiting up here. Togi has most of the action right here. I kill like 2 things in this whole map.
Yeah, I'm just killing some Hyperion soldiers, so they're out of my way more than anything.
And now I'm killing these Hyperion turrets up here because they are the trigger for this door. And they're easily avoidable just by tapping A and D very, like, slowly.
Yeah.
Just A, D, A, D, A, D, A, D.
Because they shoot slow projectiles at you, so you can just move out of the way.
But yeah, so now that Togi's killed all those guys, he can come up to me, and the way he goes is really dangerous because mortars spawn everywhere.
Yeah, I don't have super speed, so I can't just get out of the way of mortars. I have to be kind of tactical with how I move, make sure I don't get in the wrong spots.
So yeah, so there's advantages to playing Necromancer, but there's also a lot of disadvantages.
Yeah.
There's just like how there's disadvantages to playing Accident. Really, if like you're ever like wanting to do a 2-player co-op run, you gotta like find out what role fits you both best.
Yeah. Axton is by far the harder role, but they're both fun roles.
They're both extremely fun, and they're both important in their own right. Axton wouldn't be able to do anything without Gage, and Gage wouldn't be able to do anything without Axton.
Yeah.
So here you see me die a lot. That's just because we're in a really high level area. And so like one projectile will kill you. So this is like a gatekeeper here, the Badass Constructor. Even
There's
with
another mini boss.
yeah, we're just gonna keep adding minis.
Yeah.
And that door that I just walked through won't open until I kill him. And just like I just kill him easily, even though I have like an 8 damage shotgun because I have so much critical hit damage. So here, this is the bunker. We're finally here. It took us a little bit, but we managed to run up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that fight was grueling though, wasn't it?
I know, it took so long.
So right there is a potential soft lock. If I kill that cannon before Brick tells me to, then we cannot continue with this mission. Actually, I think it's a hard lock. I don't think it's...
Yeah, I'm not sure if you can actually continue the game after that.
Yeah, I think that's a potential hard lock for the game. So here, once we kill that, the bunker just starts spawning more and more autocannons. And it's just... We just have to run around in circles killing them all until we kill all 11 of them. There's 12 in total, counting that first one that I killed that started all these. What Togi just killed there was a hot loader.
Yeah, and they like to explode and do fire damage while they explode, and they do a ton of damage. And a ton of them are spawning right now, so I kind of have to be careful and try not to go down from them all the time.
Yeah, as the game goes on, more varieties of loaders spawn. When you like the first 2 types of loaders you see are exploders, which are basically just kamikaze robots, and just gun loaders, which are just robots with guns.
Yeah.
But then you get to like hot loaders, which shoot flamethrowers and explode, jet loaders, which fly, ion loaders, which are
my favorite. They create shields that all the other loaders are attracted to, so you can't shoot them unless you go in the shield and get shock damage, because they have like Tesla coils.
Yeah, and they're just fun. My favorite one is the loot looter, though.
Yeah, loot loaders are just loot boxes with legs.
they just, and they just
your
walk
kid comes
around,
from them.
and you kill them, and they look so sad when they sit down. They're like, oh. So we're referring to this whole area as the bunker. This isn't the bunker. That's the bunker. As Jack said, the bunker isn't a place. It's the BNK3R, and that binary translates to like 42.
Yeah, it's 42, which is a joke on the answer to life, the universe, and everything.
I'm not sure why.
I think that's a history of the. Is that a history of the world reference? I think it is. I can't remember.
No, that's a reference to
No, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah,
I don't know how I got this confused.
not Guardians of the Galaxy, guidebook to. So it's something Galaxy.
It's Hitchhiker's Guide.
Yeah, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I thought you said Guardians of the Galaxy.
No, it's not Guardians of the Galaxy.
I think there is a reference that in Guardians of the Galaxy. I say wrong galaxy.
Oh.
I hope there's that in the movie. It's been a while since I've watched it. But yeah, so here, Bunker is a really long boss in casual play. He flies around. You have to like take the moments where he does this to get significant damage on him. But luckily he just he sits there for us. And we can just shoot him in the crit spot. And obviously we do a lot of crit damage, so yay.
Yeah, so we're going to have to get into some positions here. I'm going to do the last hit on Bunker because he only has like 1 health left now. And then I'm going to do a mini out of bounds skip where I'm going to kind of just skip going down an elevator.
Yeah, it's collision is another theme of this run.
Oh, it's fun.
Where
collision gets in the way all the time.
Sometimes collision gets in the way, and sometimes collision helps us get out of the way. Collision is like your best friend that will also punch you in the face for no reason.
Yeah.
You'll be like, oh, thanks for the cookie, man. Ow, why'd you hit me? And it'll just shrug.
Yeah.
So
right here, I'm going to travel, and I'm going to grenade jump over to that elevator because there's a trigger I have to hit. So that we can travel and still be able to continue the story. So I hit the trigger right there, and we go to Control Core Angel.
And yeah, so there's usually a big like cutscene and everything here, showing off that Angel is actually a siren, not an AI. But we left our wallet back there.
Yeah, so we gotta go grab that, and then we're gonna go back because we forgot.
We're like, oh wait, oh shoot, let me grab that.
Yeah, and now we're back, and Angel's talking about iridium injectors. We don't know what's going on.
And then Tannis has something to tell us.
Tannis has to tell us about something, and now we have no idea what's going on.
And
there's loaders showing up, like...
Alright, to actually describe what happens there, though. So we travel out to skip a cutscene from Angel, because we've pushed the button, which is the trigger for this whole fight. There'd be a whole thing, and it reveals that Angel is actually a siren, and that she's Jack's daughter. But because we travel out, it skips all that. And then there'd be this dialogue that would happen if Togi didn't play that side quest, which would be just like they'd be like, shoot the iridium injectors, and then we'd shoot them, and then Jack would be like, nope, shields up. But and there'd be all this like dialogue before these loaders spawn. But if we play the side quest, it skips all the dialogue and the loaders spawn immediately.
Yeah, it saves them quite a bit of time.
So you're seeing on Toki's perspective that you see the like shock generators, health actually like going down. For me, it's going down like increments because off-host health is weird. You only see it in like portions.
Yeah.
Go down. So here, I'm getting ready to do another dialogue skip of Roland. He's gonna come in, and he was gonna be all like, hey, I'm up here! What the, is Angel a siren? Because Roland thought that Angel was an AI this whole time. Because in the end of Borderlands 1, it gives you this like space view of Pandora and a satellite that's like called 4N63L or something like that.
Yeah, it spells Angel in Leet speak.
And so like this is like the big reveal for like Borderlands 1 players and stuff, that Angel actually isn't an AI, which is a really good like story thing for like your first playthrough.
Yeah.
It's a really big like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But
you get really because you're convinced she's an AI at the end of Borderlands 1.
She even says it in the beginning of this game.
Yeah.
So this whole thing, Jack is telling you not to kill her because it's his daughter, and he's like trying to guilt us into not doing it because one, it's his daughter, and two, if we kill Angel, he won't have a way to charge the vault key. Because right now she's a siren, and sirens are weirdly linked to the vault. It hints at.
Yeah.
So he's injecting iridium into her to charge the vault key because whenever the vault key is used, that's a charge for 200 years. It was used at the end of Borderlands 1.
Yeah.
So
And you can't just find a siren anywhere. There's only 6 in the universe at a time in Borderlands lore, so...
And it doesn't even say at a time, too. That They just say that's the maximum.
Yeah.
So, like, there could be only, like, 3. Like, we only know about, like, 4?
4?
Yeah, there's Maya, who's a playable character in Borderlands 2. Lilith, who's an NPC and a playable character in Borderlands 1. Angel, and then an enemy from Borderlands 1 whose name is Commandant Steele. And she gets immediately killed, and we don't know about any other sirens other than those 4. And Jack says in a side quest that there can only be like 5 or 6. I think it's 5. So right here we have a lot of downtime because Rowan has to climb a pipe.
Yeah,
so
I'm playing with some ammo on the ground.
I'm duplicating. So Rowan didn't realize, so we skipped some dialogue with him being like, what? And then Angel's like, you need to shut down the shield stuff. And then he's like, okay. But I just played some side quests, so he would immediately go do that instead. This is also another sort of boring part, like Overlook Skip. But it's less boring because there's at least something to do.
Yeah.
It's just us running around killing loaders and Jack and everybody talking. Fun fact, you can actually change the movies that are going on. Like the one that happens for Angel at the top of your screen. The one that's happening with Jack right there. And the only problem with it is that there's just a lot of them.
Yeah, there's like...
Over 100.
Yeah, a ton of video files for those in Borderlands 2, but you can change them to be whatever you want.
So they didn't say... So we didn't get to hear it before, but Angel said not to let Lilith into her chambers, like where we are right now, because Lilith is a siren. But Lilith just thought that Angel was just being, like, annoying and, like, bratty. And none of the Vault Hunters like Angel. None of the original Vault Hunters like Angel, because Angel betrayed them before.
Twice?
Yeah, twice. The second time being in this game. The first time being off-screen, like, between Borderlands 1 and Borderlands 2.
Yeah.
So here, Jack shut down the light bridges, but luckily, because Lilith's here, she can teleport Roland up there. So this is basically the like last wave until we get to leave this area and we're done with the fight. So we're just killing the last wave here as Lilith is grunting and teleporting around, and Roland is getting the shield down.
This is kind of like a larger scale version of the Firehawk fight that we did in the beginning of the game.
Except we're both here for it, and I'm not off doing something else.
And Roland's here.
And Lilith.
Yeah.
We've got almost all of the Vault Hunters. I was really hoping that like Mordecai and Brick would show up.
Yeah, when I first played, I was hoping that too, but
I was like, oh, now comes Mordecai. Where's Mordecai?
Yeah, they don't show up.
All right, so now the thing's over. We just have to wait for some dialogue. And I'm just reconfiguring my inventory. Angel had to spawn some ammo first before she died.
Yeah, she had to make sure we had ammo before we left.
So there's Angel. We haven't really gotten a good look at her. She's Skrillex?
Yeah, that's Skrillex. Definitely. That's not an NPC.
So you're probably seeing me over here at this travel here, and you're like, why isn't he there? Why is he at the travel? What's going on? But, there's this whole cutscene about, like, Angel being dead, and Roland be like, Jack just lost his only way to awaken the warrior. And Roland dies, Lilith gets captured, all this stuff happens. But Roland doesn't die.
Yeah, Roland doesn't die, no one does.
No one dies. We just leave, because we're like, oh gosh, I forgot my keys too, hang on guys.
Yeah.
And so then I kill myself here, and here's a wonderful example of ragdolls. They're death ragdolls are the best in this game.
They're actually abused in the single player 80% run.
And they're abusing the pre-sequel run even more.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, so you see me, I'm at this travel, and I can just go to Sanctuary. This all skips like a long, like, 2 to 3 minute cutscene, and then like a spawning animation of somewhere that's in quotes in Sanctuary. Mark is gonna have a line here because we spawn in his like back room,
inventory room where he keeps all of his guns, and you get a bunch of crates with guns in there, but we can't use those guns anyway, and we'd have to watch the whole cutscene to get there, so we'd lose so much more time going through that than we'd save.
So we just leave the area.
Yeah.
We just decide we don't like cutscenes.
Yeah, cutscenes aren't fun. They're slow.
So yeah, Toki's spawning a car right now, and oh, volume warning.
Oh yeah.
There's a side quest that we picked up earlier that spawns this thing called a moonshiner, and it's for a quest for Mordecai. But
whenever he gets stuck, he has a really loud sound he plays because it's supposed to be like him getting angry and trying to move on, but he's just kind of stuck. That's not a very common thing. It's just kind of funny.
Okay, describe what's going on here. Mordecai, who's now our like go-to guy since Roland's dead, in quotes, and Lilith is gone. Who are the two? There's like a chain of command sort of with the Crimson Raiders. It goes Roland, Lilith, Mordecai, and I guess since Brick came back, Brick.
Yeah.
And so Togi is going to travel to this place, and Mordecai's like, we have to find out where the vault is, because that's where Jack's going to be. But we can't get through this area because the info stockade, where it's just saying where the warrior would be, is locked. So we skip a dialogue of Mordecai saying, Brick, what do you think we should do? And Brick, in his Brick way, says that we should just blow stuff up.
Yeah, which is always useful. Blowing stuff up is good.
So Brick is going to be the main dialogue here. Mordecai is just sort of sitting back, listening.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they overlap their dialogue a lot in here.
Yeah, here we're going to have to be killing a few dudes. My perspective is going to be a little boring. I just kind of wait for Utsu to go off and do the objective so that we can get up this elevator that we're about to get to.
So you saw me just kill some, like, guys and made them look like real chumps. Those are really hard bosses, even in casual play.
Yeah.
Like,
They're mini bosses.
No, I think they deserve only, like, 2 minis. They
Two
deserve...
minis? Okay.
I think they warrant 2 minis. They're hard enough.
Yeah, they have shields
that have spikes
bullets
on them that make them do
and-
more damage.
Yeah,
they don't have, like,
flimsy.
the hole in the middle of them that
Yeah.
lets you do damage to them through it. So, it's just a pain to fight against them. So, right here, yeah, Toki's just waiting for me, and I'm going, and if you've missed it through the dialogue that's overlapping itself, we have to kill this buzzer called Boombringer, which belongs to the leader of all of these bandits, because he's not letting the elevator come down. So we're trying to make him really angry so he comes down himself to deal with us. Spoiler alert, he doesn't deal with us.
Yeah.
He's dealt with us before.
He tries.
He tries, but it's sort of a pathetic fight even in casual play.
Yeah. He's
Like-
just annoying. He doesn't even do much damage in casual play.
He drops a legendary grenade mod. So there you saw me, I was getting a little bit more type B crit. And you're gonna see Toki try to show you a funny bug here, but
Yeah.
Death Trap's not having any of that.
Yeah, he gets pushed down by the elevator, and it's just kind of funny to watch, but it doesn't happen. It doesn't help at all with the run. It's just funny.
Fun fact, if either of us pushes that button before the other one is in there, the other one will be locked out of the elevator and won't be able to go up.
Yeah, there's an invisible wall in front of the exit to the elevator, so we can't fall out right now.
But we also can't get in if one of us pushes the button too early.
Yeah.
So here, we finally gotten up here where the explosive are. So I'm basically killing all these bandits so they, 1, don't kill us, and 2, they let these buzzards spawn that we have to kill, as the objective says. It's doing the thing where, like, it takes up spawns and everything, so I'm stopping that real quick. So now the buzzards have spawned, and we're able to kill them. Togi kills them with, like, 4 or 5 shots. I kill them in, like, 1 shot.
Yeah.
It just takes me a while to get those shots.
Buzzards have a lot of health, but they have really big crit spots, so they're easy to hit.
Yeah, their crit spots are, like, all in their center. So we're gonna be attaching onto these these crates, which are the explosives, and I'm just sort of going to jump off. And I'm going to run to the travel so we can get back into the Iridium Blight, so we can go back to the info stockade where we're trying to go originally. And here, Toki would usually give me the go-ahead to go.
Yeah.
So we travel right when the objective goes.
Yep.
Which saves a good amount of time.
Here, I'm going to go grab a car so I can drive through the next area, and I'm just going to kind of try to put myself in a safe place while Utsu goes and travels.
There's a lot of things that can go wrong in this area. Like, you see that green guy? One of those can spawn in front of him and keep him from going forward, then blow up his car.
Yeah, it's happened more times than I'd like to speak about.
Oh yeah, this is King Mong. He's a really hard boss. You see, he got me, but that was King Mong.
That's who I got my first legendary from when I played Borderlands 2.
King Mong is just a sort of random spawn in this map. He's just a really big bedrock Bullymong, which is a harder Bullymong from the first area. And he drops a legendary rocket launcher called the Bada Boom, which just shoots a lot of rocket launchers at once.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we haven't brought it up for this whole run because that hasn't really been relevant. But whenever you level up, you get 100% damage increase.
Yeah, we try to time that with bosses and stuff like that, but
it's usually just faster, just keep going rather than like manipulate everything to be timed perfectly.
Yeah, because it's not a huge enough difference for it to really matter that much.
So there, Tokigi destroyed his car, and you saw that he got this like little yellow emblem at the bottom of the screen. That's a kill skill, and basically kill skills are whenever you kill someone, they activate. And that kill skill, it gives him a little bit of movement speed whenever he kills someone, and killing his car activates it, so that lets him run to this area a little bit faster.
Yeah.
So here, he's just sort of going to hide, because some really high level, really hard to kill loaders spawn.
Yeah, a new loader called a Sergeant loader spawns. And
they have
they're
rocket
even
launchers.
harder to kill.
They have rocket launchers.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to spawn a car here, and you're going to be like, why are you spawning a car? You run really fast. Well, I got to sort of ram this with a vehicle. And you're also probably wondering, why didn't I get a barrel one if that one's faster? It's because if I boost with a barrel one, I can fly over the pipeline, and then I'll just waste time driving around. You probably saw me stop there as I was running through that rather than just straight up speeding through the whole thing. That's because if I go too fast, I cannot jump high enough and just fall into a death plane that's under there.
Yeah.
It's really hard to time that jump so that you don't die. So here, this is probably the second most boring part for Tokigi.
Yeah, I kind of just sit here and wait to travel because I don't have anything important to do here.
It wastes time for him to go anywhere else. That's a boss right there, Saturn. I think he deserves boss status.
Yeah, he's a boss.
He doesn't have any crit points, and he does a lot of damage.
Yeah, there's been a lot of research to try to figure out if he has a crit point. He does not anywhere.
I think Gearbox confirmed there is no crit. No, I think they confirmed there's a crit point inside him.
Oh, okay. Useful.
So we timed the dialogue there to so that I could grab the echo as soon as we traveled, and that's basically the download information for where the hero's pass is, which is where the warrior is. So here I'm going to turn this mission, and Toki's going to do this mission that we got earlier at Brick, which is going to let me go ahead and talk to Claptrap earlier. Usually we'd have to wait through all of this dialogue of him telling us to get back to Claptrap and talking to this and like going to tell people that we're about to go to the final battle and all that stuff, getting gear. But luckily, just by turning that thing, we just get to go. So this is about like the final fight that Tokigi and I are going to be in.
Yeah, this is my like last stand. I don't do anything else after this part of the run.
I, however, still have a little bit more things to do here. There's like another 10 minutes after this fight. And, of course, Claptrap's here with us, because it wouldn't be a Borderlands game without Claptrap.
Yeah.
He does this arm wiggle.
And he runs away like he's scared here. It's interesting.
I think he just looks like he's really pumped for what he's doing.
Oh, okay.
He's like, yeah! he's ready. He's ready. He's ready to go. So we're just sort of waiting for Claptrap to hit this trigger, and I'm just sort of duping and Tokigi's
I'm just doing whatever.
He's Tokigiing.
Yeah.
He's doing what we call a Tierkeeger.
Yeah.
So yeah, so these guys, they still just die. Again, level 8 shotgun. Or level
Yeah.
10. It's a low-level shotgun. Like 20 levels at the least under-leveled from these
It's
guys.
severely underleveled.
And they're still just melting. So yeah, so something that can happen during this fight, and it happened during a run for us that we were on like significant PB pace. There can be a surveyor that just spawns under the ground. And a surveyor, we said earlier, is just this thing that flies around. But in Angel Fight and this fight, there's a thing that can spawn. Oh yeah, that's not solid. They can just spawn on the ground. There's a loader that can spawn on the ground in Angel Fight, and there's a surveyor that can spawn on the ground in this fight. So it's weird.
It can stay there forever. I think it despawns after the game finally realizes they can't kill this thing. But it takes a long time. Angel Fight, it takes about 5 minutes, and you can't leave. This one, it takes like we don't know how long.
So it's faster for us to, if that ever happens in a run, we either reset or we just leave the area and come back. It resets Claptrap Fight, but that surveyor won't be underground anymore.
Yeah, so you can finish the run.
So Togi went down here, so he's gonna try to kill this thing. Which if you manage to kill both of these, actually, it makes this part faster, but it's impractical to try to kill both of them.
Yeah. They do so much damage, it's not worth it.
So, yeah, we're just doing the fight. There's not much else to say about this fight, other than there's a fight going on. Oh, yeah, so there, Toki, he forgot to put it back on his shield when he bucked up earlier. That's good, he's got it now.
Yeah.
Either way, he was still doing massive damage without it.
Yeah. Now I do even more.
So, what Claptrap just did was, Claptrap here, he's just trying to open these doors for us, but of course he sucks at it. And so, so now he finally hacked those turrets for us, so those turrets are on our side now. In the meantime, I'm focusing on killing these surveyors because they still can take up a lot of time. I think about here we like swap priority because I can kill these loaders faster. Because crit points, and Tokiki doesn't really need to aim.
Yeah, aiming isn't important because I just have the ricochet abilities.
It's better to aim because he hits more pellets because ricochet bullets do less damage and they shoot out less pellets. But he doesn't really need to ricochet because sometimes they get staggered. And that's the fight. I'm just sort of gonna leave and I'm gonna go grab some side missions. Let's just listen to this wonderful dialogue from Claptrap. I'm tired of Claptrap dialogue.
Yeah, no, Claptrap dialogue isn't fun.
So we just we skip it. We skip all the Claptrap dialogue in the end.
Yeah.
Was he spinning?
Yes. I don't remember seeing that before. That's new.
Okay, so yeah, so Togi's just gonna go up here. There's gonna be a travel up here that he's gotta reach. References that Claptrap can't climb stairs again, but we have to cut that line out either way, or else Togi won't be able to travel.
Yeah.
And that's it for Toki's job. He's done.
Yeah, I'm done. I don't need to do anything else.
Well, there's one thing, but so I'm just sort of running through Heroes Pass. We skip everything in this map. There's like this whole like super like epic like transition that goes on. Like Brick is running with you. Mordecai's got like a ship that he's coming with you with. There's this epic theme song going on. You're killing loaders. You just feel so awesome. And then just, oh yeah, I hit some collision there. It didn't let me jump for this slight skip. But yeah, you just feel so awesome. And it's just all of this awesome. But in speedrun, you're just like, I don't got time for awesome. I gotta go fast.
Yeah.
So you just go.
You actually got the cool music to stop playing.
There it is.
There. Yeah, there it is again.
Yeah, the music only goes whenever there's enemies, like,
yeah, Borderlands has like ambient and battle music, so depending on if you're fighting or not, it'll switch between them.
This is my favorite strat. You use the weapon crate to hide behind.
Yeah.
And we're at the Vault of the Warrior. And there would be this whole thing where we have to, like, run around and, like, hit a button where both of us have to be there. Well, luckily, I can just do this. I can just get to the final area.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to go there now anymore, though.
There's a way that you can get there, but it has a really difficult grenade jump.
Yeah, there are some really skilled grenade jumps that they're just not even worth doing because I don't do enough damage to kill the warrior anyway.
Here's, like, the only real time we actually encounter Jack in real life.
Yeah.
This is the only time we see him in real life in, like, a cutscene. Because we skipped the rolling cutscene where Jack would show up and shoot him in the back.
Yeah.
So, the joke with this fight is, if you see more than 2 seconds of gameplay, you did it bad. Because, if you do this right, you can just, like... His health bar would just go down so fast that, like... The fight will start and they'll go to this cutscene.
Yeah, it's easier with a better shotgun.
It's just extremely hilarious just to be running. It's like, oh, too much gameplay. That was at least 3 seconds of gameplay. Too much. I need at least 1. You're on about a 2 out of 10. I need you at 7.
Yeah.
But, finally, after all that running, we get to meet the warrior. He's a lizard.
Or a cat.
He stands like a cat a little bit.
Yeah.
He's got that cat stance.
Yeah.
So Jack is commanding him right now. And, so I get him down really low, but of course we have a low shotgun. And there was a weird bug this time around where usually there's, like, all of these, like, flying creatures called Rack flying around. And there's these crystal beasts called Chrysalisks flying around. But they just didn't spawn this time. And usually, like, this is like a 99.9% of the time they'll be there deal.
Yeah, this was a very strange warrior fight. Because they're always there. For some reason, they didn't spawn this time.
They didn't spawn until after I respawn. So here Tokiki's gonna just start shoot because the way bosses work is that there's nobody there. Their health will reset. So Tokiki just starts shooting him. He's getting out of the way from me. I'm launching back over. I'm gonna hit the warrior real quick. I'm gonna jump on him. Quick fun fact: jumping on enemies does about 1 damage. And now the dudes are actually spawned. So in an average run, I'll usually go down the warrior either way because the warrior is obviously level 32 and we're level 20.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, like I'd usually just get off of them, no matter what the shotgun is. The ideal is I kill him when he first shows up, and he goes in the lava, and he comes back out in his death phase.
Similar to Bunker, how I had to finish him with 1 shot.
Yeah, so effectively right now, Warrior is 1 health. And so you remember in the beginning of the game when we duped that Echo at Hammerlock? Yeah, we're gonna bring that back. And that skips a line with Lilith and lets us immediately push that button. So, yeah, that was the Borderlands 2 run. As you can see, extremely entertaining, extremely weird.
Yeah.
Lots of math errors, lots of fast, lots of out of bounds.
Lots of bad netcode.
Extremely fun. I love this, and I really hope that you enjoyed the run. I look forward to seeing what your results for this run are. See ya.
Bye.